I'm Motley Fool Canada Senior Analyst Nick Seipel, and this is the 5-Minute Major, here to make you a smarter investor in about 5 minutes. Today, we're discussing regulatory troubles at TD Bank. My guest today is Motley Fool Canada Chief Investment Officer Ian Butler. Ian, thanks for joining me once again.
Indeed. Ready for some fun here, Nick. Let's go.
Yeah, you know who's not having fun? TD Bank executives. The company is in hot water as investors weigh potential penalties against the company for failure to comply with anti-money laundering regulations. Some analysts estimate the bank could face cash penalties of up to $2 billion, along with non-monetary penalties that could hamstring the bank in years to come. Ian, what does this latest news mean for TD Bank?
Yeah, this is an interesting situation, and I'm sure there's been some very awkward, let's say, conversations within the walls of TD Bank across North America, whether it be at head office here in Toronto or wherever they may exist, or right down at the branch level. So I think for this latest news for TD investors in the here and now, it means they're facing some uncertainty. And generally speaking, the Canadian banks are meant for the safest, very safest corner of one's portfolio. They are as blue chip as it gets in the Canadian market. And it's somewhat rare that sort of scandalous situations such as this occur with a Canadian bank. But here we are, and they have happened in the past for sure. I just think it means stock price is likely to be volatile. We're likely in for some headline risk as we go. It's an uncertain situation. That the eventual penalties are certainly uncertain. You mentioned potential fines. There's no doubt going to be some sort of a regulatory slap on the wrist, whether it be in Canada, the US, both potentially. And it might limit TD's ability to grow somewhat in the US for the next little bit anyway. But I think this too shall pass, and then once again TD will be quiet and nicely growing in one's portfolio.
Yes, Ian, you talk about the uncertainty here, the role that Canadian banks traditionally play in a portfolio. Given the uncertainty and potential risk here for TD Bank, is this a stock you'd be avoiding right now in favor of other banks? Why or why not?
Yeah, so I think I sort of tipped my hand there in the initial passage, but I'm more drawn to TD right now than I potentially ever have been in my career, frankly. I think a great rule of thumb for Canadian investors is that whenever a Canadian bank stubs its toe, such as this, and I don't think it's any more than that, it creates a window of opportunity to pick up some shares, whether it be initiating a position or building on an existing position. Here we have TD trading at a price to book multiple of 1.28. That compares to a 10-year average of 1.68 and a 25-year average of 1.93. So it's exceptionally cheap right now. This is the third cheapest it's been actually in the past 25 years. The other two times were during the financial crisis and in the sort of early days of the pandemic, and both of those periods were obviously there was a very serious macro situation going on during both of those situation or stretches. And I think too, here you are, and Canadian banks are known for their dividend yields. TD Bank is offering its third highest dividend yield in the past 25 years. We're sitting at about 5.3% right now. The 25-year average for TD has been 3.4%. Now, interest rates are a little higher, so there's some reason for that dividend yield to be higher than it has been. But again, this is an exceptional dividend yield. And let's say they are prevented from growing in the US, which has been their strategy. That just means this bank is going to pile up capital, and it probably means they divert it more towards share buybacks, taking advantage of this cheap stock, and higher dividends in the years ahead, if indeed they are prevented from deploying that capital towards more business growth angles. Not bad alternatives for long-term shareholders. So I'm intrigued by TD. It's not the cheapest Canadian bank. I believe that honor is bestowed upon Bank of Nova Scotia, which trades for right around book value right now. But TD is as good as it gets when it comes to Canadian banking, and here you are with an opportunity to buy at a historic discount.
Yeah, in the stock market, risk and opportunity are often intertwined, and you're seeing some opportunity in the risk that TD Bank is facing today. Well, folks, this is all the time we have today for the 5-Minute Major. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.